Gridfinity, let's move on to filament organization. I already have a large shelf in my studio where I store my spools organized by color. However, this shelf only contains PLA because I want to avoid mixing materials and accidentally using the wrong type due to not reading the label properly. This has happened to me too many times, so it's PLA only here. Unfortunately, this led to a pile of ASA, polycarbonate and PETG filament at the bottom of one of my shelves, which was quite annoying and messy. Therefore, I decided to create another filament shelf in the workbench corner for my more technical materials. There are many filament shelf options, but the one I've always used is a variant of the Repcord Rep Rack. The original shelf uses half-inch electrical conduit, which isn't very common here in Germany. I found an inexpensive yet attractive and somewhat accessible alternative. Simple IKEA curtain rods. The holders I designed are perfectly sized to fit two of them on a typical 256 by 256 millimeter build plate. The Rep Rack is designed for French cleats, and if you don't have a French cleat wall, it comes with single cleats that also perfectly fit into the cutouts of the hanger for printing. I printed mine in gray LEU PTG with 4 walls for extra strength, and one of the sets takes less than 5 hours on the Satori carbon. I melted in some of our M3EZ inserts and added 8mm screws that will clamp the rods in place so they don't slide out. To level them, I used a line laser level, which has been one of the most helpful tools in the entire new studio build. The single cleats are spaced roughly a meter apart from each other and perfectly fit the 120 to 210 centimeter telescopic curtain rods. The inner, smaller diameter part goes in the back, while the outer pipe sits in the front. Then I tightened the screws and loaded the new rack with the stray rolls that were scattered around the studio. Organization is all about finding things and being able to return them easily. So I added small labels again to indicate where each type of filament belongs. We started with horizontal Gridfinity and transitioned to hanging filament on the wall. So let's explore another vertical organization system that will help me use my wall space more efficiently and also serve as a cool filming backdrop. There are plenty of 3D printed wall organization systems available. In my opinion, the most popular options are multi-board and the honeycomb storage wall. Both are pegboard style systems with holes for mounting accessories. Multi-board employs a rectangular grid-based system, while the honeycomb storage wall features a hexagonal structure. And since everyone knows that hexagons are the best of them, I had to choose the honeycomb storage wall, or HSW. I hope I made the right decision here. Do you currently use one of these systems? Let me know which one and why you selected it. The baseboards themselves consist of hexagon tiles, which are available in different size options to use the space of the bed of your 3D printer most efficiently. I wanted to create a 7x4 wall, so I had to print 28 base panels, each taking around 2.5 hours on the Satori carbon. The hex panels aren't simply extruded hexagons. They have a slight undercut. To ensure that the items attached to them securely hold in place, they utilize a snap mechanism. The connector features a small compliant mechanism that's compressed when inserted and then expands again for a secure grip. This also works in reverse, allowing for the placement of the accessories to be non-permanent, as you can remove them with a bit of force. The panels are attached to each other by connectors that are also used to fix the bolts to the wall. I arranged all of the panels on the floor and started the installation. 4X connectors for locations where 4 panels meet, 2X connectors for the sides, and single connectors for the corners. Then I used my self-leveling laser to draw a horizontal line on the wall as a reference to ensure everything is at the right height and level. Marius helped me ensure it was in place, and then I screwed everything directly into the studio wall. Finally, it was time to fill it with all of the accessories I printed. Like with Gridfinity, there's a large community surrounding printable parts for it. You can easily find a ton of options by checking out the remixes of the honeycomb storage wall. If you're looking for something specific or searching in a different mod repository, simply add HSW to your search query, which many use for tagging their parts. My initial selection included a towel holder, a glove holder, a holder for my squirt bottle, and many other shelves and tool holders. However, as you print more accessories, you'll also realize one of the downsides of the honeycomb storage wall system. The part that attaches to the wall is quite complex, can protrude from the part, and requires supports. Some accessories only print simple hexagons that slide into the complex compliant part, while others don't print anything at all, requiring you to screw the parts into the adapter. Even though it works, it can be a bit inconsistent and hacky, and I think the multi-board system does a better job in that regard. Nonetheless, my wall was completed for now, but still far from full or finished. And that's the beauty of all of these modular systems. Start with an initial idea of what you want to add, and as you work with it, you realize that some things may be missing or redundant. Over time, you'll add and remove items consistently until it's perfect for your application. Let's finish this video with a less effort wall organization system. I've mentioned it before, sometimes you shouldn't print everything just because you can. The honeycomb panels on my wall amounted to around 3 kilograms of material and 70 hours of printing, even on a really fast machine. If you want to avoid this, you could go with a pre-made packboard system. A very popular option available worldwide is the IKEA Scandus system, which I plan to use below the filament rack for my electronics bench. This way I can finally get rid of those really old storage drawers I inherited from my dad. I've already printed some tiltable drawers, but they're a bit larger than I prefer. So if you have any suggestions for good Scandus drawers and accessories, let me know in the comments, and I'll try to fill my pack box with them. And this is also where I stop for now. I'm sure the 4 organization systems I've shown you today will continue to evolve over time, now that I finally started working with them. I'm incredibly grateful that Aligu supported me with this project and their Centauri Carbon. Not only was I able to finally dive into Gridfinity and honeycomb storage walls, but this also gave me the chance to put a ton of hours on Aligu's new flagship FDM printer, which is super affordable. It did an excellent job producing great looking parts, and it offers one of the fastest printing speeds of all of the machines here in the studio at the moment. The included double-sided print plate never let me down, and the enclosure even allowed me to print high temperature materials like ABS or ASA just as if it were PLA. There's no tinkering needed. Adding Gridfinity to my project then.
have to have a conversation about this. I feel like it's been a minute since I've done just like an old school, straight to camera rant video, but this has been all over my timeline lately, so I feel like I have to. So meet Neo, potentially the most futuristic product we've ever seen. This thing is a full-fledged humanoid robot, 5'6", 66 pounds, 4-hour battery life, self-charging, and it lives in your house. It's finally here. Get your mind out of the gutter. It's for doing chores. It's a housekeeper. It has the same dexterity as a human because it's shaped just like a human. Walks around on 2 legs, has 10 fingers. It can fold laundry and put it away for you, or it can do the dishes for you from start to finish and then put everything away. It can go around and water the plants outside or inside on a perfect schedule, and it never forgets a single plant. And then it'll go around and vacuum and tidy up the house if anything gets left out. It always knows where everything is. It can find the TV remote, and it'll basically actively do all the chores that you know you have to do, but you don't actually want to do. And when it's done, it goes back to its little docking spot and charges itself. Imagine going out for the day of work and coming back a few hours later, and everything's done. All the chores are finished. Every single time, every day, you never have to do chores again. That's amazing. Or maybe, let's say you have mobility issues. This thing can sort of act as a personal assistant in a lot of ways. These are things that represent massive value for a lot of people. And it's available to order now. This is available to order? This feels like it could be the best tech announcement of all time in 2025, except this isn't real. And I mean that in the most literal way possible. This is not real. First of all, it's a pre-order. So you can go to this website right now and you can pick between 3 colors, and then it's either $500 a month subscription for a standard delivery, or you can pay a flat $20,000 to own it outright and get priority delivery. Just drop a $200 fully refundable deposit to get in line today, and deliveries in the US start sometime next year. And that's just allegedly. We don't know when it's actually going to ship. Now, to be clear, it's not actually the price that I have a big problem with. Like, I know these numbers seem eye-popping on paper, but this is a first-generation, bleeding-edge humanoid robot assistant. Like, I never thought that this would be cheap. And also, there isn't really competition yet, so you got to imagine the target audience is going to be people whose time is worth more than the money you're spending on it. Like, this is for people who the idea of saving a few hours on chores every week so that they can use that time to make more money actually makes logical sense. Like, people really think like that. It's for early adopters. It's for people who want to spend however much they think is worth on this brand new novel thing. That's fine. But my issue with this product is the gap between what it's actually capable of today and what they're promising as they take your money today. Like, I think when people watch a video like this, they expect that this robot has some sort of built-in artificial intelligence that allows it to recognize objects and navigate around on its own and run your house and be productive for those hours while you're gone. And that, I think, would be a feel. That's the dream. But that's not actually what's happening. So Joanna Stern, the legend, she did a video with this Neo robot also this week where the company showed her all the things that it could do. And it turns out 100% of the things that they showed her were remotely controlled by a human in another room wearing a VR headset with controls. That's not exaggerating. 100% of the stuff they showed you. They carried things around,